Hi, welcome to Reddit Tea Time. My husband and I, both 33, have been together since college. Over the years, he's had quite the career trajectory. He's a quant project manager and makes like 10x what I make. And I make a good salary, haha. As we've grown wealthier, I've learned that people become nosier. Friends, acquaintances, relatives, you name it. In the beginning, I would entertain the nosy questions, but since I turned 30, I've adopted a take-no-crap attitude. When people ask me how much he makes, I no longer say anything. I've learned the hard way that giving an exact number can have bad consequences. My coworker, 25, is new and she already has quite the reputation. Very chatty, catty, gossipy, you get the gist. You can just tell she craves wealth and status. She wears a bunch of flashy designer items and is always asking ladies around the office which one of the men are single. Last Friday, our office hosted an afternoon happy hour. She approached me and asked how me and my husband's recent vacation to Europe went. I told her it went well and briefly summarized what we did. Then the conversation went something like this. Her: "So what does your husband do?" Me: "He works in finance." Her: "Oh wow, he must make a ton then to be taking you on all these lavish vacations. I hope you don't mind me asking, but how much does he make in a year?" Me: "Yes, we're very lucky that he makes a good salary." Polite smile. Her: "Oh, come on. I won't tell anyone. How much does he rake in a year? Millions?" Me: awkward chuckle. "I'd rather not say, but it's up there." Her: "What? He doesn't allow you to give an exact number or something?" Me, visibly annoyed. "No, I just prefer not to say." Her: laughs in my face. "You'd think the stuck-up one would be the one with the money, not the one without." Me: "You should learn to take no for an answer and when to quit being a nosy witch. It's a valuable lesson." Then I smiled at her and walked away. Later on, I had a few coworkers reach out to me and say that she was crying and left early, and that I should apologize for calling her a rude name. I refused. I told my mom and she said I was too rude to the new girl and that she's young and might not fully understand salary talk. I think she's old enough. Husband is fully on my side, but said maybe I should fake apologize for the sake of office politics, which I somewhat agree with. But still, am I the bonehead? Now for some comments. I know women like her, the type to find out it's millions and then start sleazing all over your husband. Not the bonehead. OP replied, "Oh, trust me, I know exactly what you mean. I've encountered my fair share of those too, and my new coworker is definitely one of them." Not the bonehead. Report her to HR. She kind of low-key tried to get to know his salary so she can hang on him and be his girlfriend. OP replied, "I could definitely see her as the type of woman to throw herself onto married men if they have enough money." Not the bonehead. Though I agree that she's young and it was harsh. And I agree that for the sake of office politics, you should say something like, "I apologize for calling you a witch, but I do hope it was a valuable lesson for you, and the next time you are able to recognize other people's boundaries when they draw them." OP replied, "I think this is the way to go as well, and I plan on saying something like that tomorrow." Not the bonehead, but I always found "why do you ask" is more effective than vague answers to unacceptable personal questions. If that fails to end it, still don't give any answers. That's not something I discuss outside my family and my tax guy. OP replied, "You know what? That's actually a great response. Wow. I've never thought about directing a question back at them, but I can totally see how that can be more effective or productive. Thanks for this. Everyone sucks here. I don't think I need to get into why she's a bonehead. You should be able to walk away from someone at a work event without calling them a witch. There are certainly situations that might warrant it, but she didn't assault you or steal anything or otherwise act beyond the pale where you can justify losing control. Just walk away. Don't put your coworkers in the position where they have to debate justifying you or anyone calling someone a witch. The workplace isn't somewhere to put someone in their place. It's where you de-escalate and then bring it up to the appropriate people." I, 25 female, type very fast on my phone and sometimes have spelling errors or grammar mistakes. But as this is a text, I don't think it's that important. I just need the person who I send a message to understand what I mean. I know it irritates my husband as he has talked to me about it before, and for him, I usually double check my texts, but last night it slipped my mind. I texted my husband a shopping list as my sister-in-law and her family were coming for dinner and asked him to get some things after work. As I typed quickly, I had written coconut milk, MLIK, instead of coconut milk, MILK. I was making Thai green curry, but I realized I didn't have a tin at home, and I had made the curry before my husband was back. I just needed to add the coconut milk and reheat it for when my in-laws would come. When he got home, I realized he had bought everything I put on the list except the coconut milk. I got annoyed when I asked him why he didn't bring that, and he said he couldn't understand what I meant and that next time I should check my spelling before sending a text. I then told my husband to then figure out what we were serving sister-in-law because it wasn't Thai green curry as he didn't bring the coconut milk. I left my husband to then figure out dinner, and he got us all takeout instead, which he was upset about doing as he had a hard day at work and I was at home. Now for some comments. Not the bonehead. My brain filled in the right spelling and I had to stare for a long time to actually see the typo. Not the bonehead. Is your husband stupid? What other word could MLIK mean? Kidding, he's not stupid, he's just being unnecessarily petty. If he didn't understand the list, he could have texted you back or called you to ask. He ruined dinner just to be petty, and you did your best, not the bonehead. Geez, it actually took me like 3 slow readings of your typo to see it, because human brains are wired to ignore typos that do not affect the meaning of the word. So you're definitely not the bonehead. Your husband 100% is. He did a petty thing for a petty reason, wanted to teach you a lesson most likely, and it backfired in the best possible way. My 29 male nephew Zach, 14 male, is staying with me and my wife, 28 female, for 3 weeks. He's a nice kid, but unfortunately, as I found out a few days ago, a chronic bedwetter. That evening when we had dinner, he drank this tall glass of water with some chips. The next morning he wasn't up in time for breakfast, so I checked his room and found he had wet the bed. And not for the first time. When I confronted him about it, he admitted he had wet the bed before, but hid it from us by getting up early and washing the sheets. Now, neither of his parents told me anything about this, and Zach told me he had fooled them into thinking he had gotten over this, and could I please not tell them. I wasn't too mad because I understand it's not something he can control, but I did make a rule that he has to limit his fluid intake, no sodas, soft drinks, soups, etc., and that after 7 p.m. he can't drink any beverages. He's free to break the rules, of course, but if he wets the bed again and I find out, I made it clear I'm telling his folks. My wife and I got into an argument over it when she found Zach was still awake at like 4 a.m. last night. She's insistent that he's scared to sleep because he might wet the bed and it's because of the threat I made to tell his parents. Now, I don't know if she forgot what it's like to be a teenager, but they stay up at bizarre hours all the time. It's not necessarily due to the bedwetting at all, and I told her as much. If he's following the rules, he probably won't wet the bed anyhow. She called me cold and has been giving me the silent treatment since. I don't think I did anything wrong. It's not a threat per se. Telling parents is just the right thing to do if a kid keeps having issues. Am I the bonehead? Now for some comments. You're the bonehead. I wet the bed till I was 12. This is a red flag. Both that he's wetting the bed and that he's scared for his parents to find out. For me, it was a combination of 2 things. Trauma, parents abusive behind closed doors, and undiagnosed autism. So issues with interoception, which is common with autism. Your nephew needs help, not shame. You're the bonehead. OP, your nephew has a serious medical problem, which could be nocturnal enuresis. The fact that he's 14 should raise alarm bells, and he needs to see a doctor immediately, not have his fluid intake restricted without a proper diagnosis. For all you know, this is also a sign that he might be abused. Geez, you really handled the situation horribly. Get your nephew some help and also apologize to your nephew and your wife for acting like a jerk. You are a complete bonehead. If the teenager is wetting the bed at 14 years old, then scaring the child is not going to do crap. Chances are he has a medical issue or is suffering from other external factors. Alright, so I, 25 female, babysit for a couple of families every now and then because it's an easy way to make money, and honestly, I'm good at babysitting, though I wouldn't want to make it a full-time career. For my actual job, I work as a Hooters girl at my local Hooters, a job that I love. I don't mix the two and don't ever really need to tell anyone what I actually do for a job, as I don't feel like there's a need to. So this started when I started babysitting for a new family. Some friends recommended me to them. So the first night it was fine. I watched the kid and everything went well, no problems. They asked another time in which I tell them that I had to work that night, which they understood, and then a third time they requested me, and I let them know that I'm able to do it for the normal fee and everything, so they agree. Come the night, I come over to watch the kid. They have some of their friends over and are all getting ready to leave when one of their friends asks them if they're okay letting a sex worker look after their child. The father, let's call him Joe, male 38, pulls me off to the side with his wife to ask if it's true. I told them that no, I wasn't a sex worker. I work at Hooters as a server. They got all mad, saying that it was still sex work and that I should have told that to them when they first asked about hiring me. Long story short, we got into an argument and they fired me from watching their child and have now posted about it on Facebook to not have me hired to watch any kids. So am I the bonehead? Edit. So I'm not able to sue for defamation of character because of how they worded it, but I can say that it no longer applies because in the last couple of hours, my job application for being a company model was accepted and I since quit my Hooters job. Now for some comments. Not the bonehead. Hooters isn't sex work. Those people are prudes and shameful for being so dramatic and also spreading your business on social media. It's not like you're dancing around their children scantily clad. So if this friend knows about you working at Hooters, then that means they go to places looking for sex workers. Shouldn't the dad be questioning his friendships? How could he allow his kids to be around friends that go to places like Hooters? Obviously, not the bonehead. LOL, not the bonehead. People are out of their minds. Not the bonehead. Even if you were a sex worker, it wouldn't change the quality of your work as a babysitter. I get that your morals and decision-making skills could be called into question by more closed-minded people, but as long as you treat the kids right, I see no reason to hold your job against you. And depending on what they posted on Facebook, you could sue them over this to get it removed and maybe even a bit of money for them damaging your reputation. What do you think? Please let me know in the comments below. If you like these stories, please consider subscribing. Hopefully, I'll see you in the next Reddit story. In the meantime, please take care of yourself. Bye for now.